Well, hello Vivek, here we are again, Friday afternoon. It's Friday the 13th today, so I hope that's not an inauspicious start to this vlog. But anyway, it's nice to see you again, and we're going to chat through various issues. The agenda, I'll just tell everybody, you can see it on the screen. We're going to do just a minute, then the week gone by, the road ahead, and then trick or treat. And if you haven't tuned in to us before, you might be wondering what these are, but all will become clear as we go through. So first of all, Vivek, let's have your just a minute.
Namaste, everyone. It's a good day, hopefully. Friday the 13th. I don't really believe in that, but here we go. My company is Wake Technology Integrators. I believe in living simple life. I believe in thinking differently. So thinking differently also means that doing something which is different from the standard accepted way of doing things, which means I need to keep things simple. I believe in what Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci said. Simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. So if you are concerned about social media, confused by the various marketing channels that are available, push marketing, pull marketing, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, all of that, and added on top of that could be the technology mix. If all of that confuses you, I would say avoid the cowboys. Let the Indian handle the technology, and you live a simple life, because simplicity is the requirement as far as I'm concerned. So for simple life, contact me. Details are in the description. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you will also see all these vlogs and so on. So that was my just a minute. It's now over to you, Corina.
Okay, and are you blue boxing us today like we did last week?
Yes.
Okay.
You have the blue box.
We have the blue box again. Okay, so my just a minute. Well, I'm Corina Shepherd, and my company is Dancing Kites Creative Learning. I'm very proud of the company because I've developed it over a number of years, and I'm passionate about unlocking potential through creative and interactive learning. And this can be for children, it can be for adults in a number of ways. It includes my books for dyslexic children, it includes coaching, training, in a number of areas, all around the area of helping people to think clearly, confidently and creatively. Really hard to sum up in just a minute, so please go and visit my website for more information, and the details, as Vivek has said, is at the bottom of the description underneath this YouTube channel. I too have a YouTube channel which you can subscribe to and catch up with all the latest vlogs and other videos that I'm having done. So that's enough for me. So we're now on to the week gone by. So how's your week been, Vivek?
Yeah, my week has been a bit of mix. Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday I was really thinking quite a lot about my website. You gave me a lot to think last time, so I'm not blaming you. You helped me ignite my thinking. So
okay, good.
You started the thinking process, so that's good. So, and then I found out that there is a very Google as a company, they always keep changing things, and they have brought out a very new thing which is called as, you can embed your Google Plus posts onto your website. There are lots of things happening around this, so you would be able to see an example of all that on my website. So it's yeah, it has obviously has increased what I need to do, but still I enjoy doing that. Yeah, Wednesday I suddenly decided to use mind maps rather than a written script
Good.
for the video log, and you're seeing the result of that today. Thursday was again thinking more about the website and so on, how I incorporate this embedded Google Plus posts onto my website and so on. So a lot of thinking. Friday, which is today, we had an interesting meeting in Ascot 4N. Matt Press gave his foresight. He mentioned about the importance of using the right words, and they need to be connected with everything else that you do, and so on and so forth. So that's a lot to think about. And then suddenly I got a call from B. John. I was not expecting him to call me, but he did. So let's see where it goes. That's actually my week gone by. A long story, but there it is. Now it's your turn. You have the blue box now.
Okay. Well, it's very interesting doing these vlogs because it gives us a real opportunity to review the week just gone and to think what's worked, what hasn't, how much progress. And sometimes, some weeks you can feel you haven't really made progress, but you've still made connections and you've done lots of thinking, as you say. So it does actually sound like you've had a good week. You may not have got immediate results, but it's all part of just taking small steps and action every day towards your goal, which is, you know, the measure of getting success. I thought just give a couple of highlights because I know that we want to get on to the trick or treat section a bit quicker this time for our viewers. I think one of the main things that seems to be sort of buzzing at the moment is about my ebooks. I've actually got them live on my web shop now, so I'm really excited about that. So I've now got 4 ebooks up there. So take a look at my dancingkites.co.uk website to take a look at that. And I also had a meeting with a PR guy yesterday up in Birmingham, which was really, really helpful. He's got lots of good connections and he's very keen to help me promote them. It just feels a bit like maybe the time has come for my books to sort of really take off a bit, which would be fantastic. So I've got things coming up, but yeah, so that's really good. I mean, obviously there's the usual mix of networking and admin and juggling everything else. I also did a talk at 4N Banbury on Tuesday about changing your perception, and I referred to my fire walk that I did last October. And if any viewers are interested in that, I have a video on changing your perception on my Dancing Kites YouTube channel, which was filmed at a previous 4N breakfast meeting. So find out how mad I am. I think if anyone can do a fire walk, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So it just shows that what's possible, really. So lots of other things, but let's move on now. And we're now looking.
How was your theme 4N?
Tame went really well, actually. Did you read any of the forum posts?
No, I have been really...
Oh, you must do. Oh, well,
yeah.
Our foresighter, her car broke down, and someone that we both know well, Basil Meany, was coming along. So I said to him, would you like to do the foresight? And which he was delighted to do. So he talked on confidence, and he was really on fire. It was really inspired everybody. And yeah, I've had so many positive comments about the group and the warm welcome and how well it was run and all this kind of stuff afterwards. So it's clearly doing what I want to, because that is my heart for the group, that people feel welcomed and that they can have connections and do business and have fun as well. And the breakfast is great as well. So yes, it was a real success, and it was just a thrill to read the forum posts afterwards and to get the comments about the lovely atmosphere, and yeah, Martin at the Peacock does a fantastic job there in welcoming. So yeah, that was another plus. So thank you for the prompt there. Now, the road ahead, how does the road ahead look for you, Vivek?
Yeah, I need to take the blue box
All right.
that I have, my blue box. Yeah, I'm still doing a lot of stuff for my website, so that's part of my next week. A lot to get through. And I also need to talk to my accountant. I have also been busy. Accounts, lots of things need to be scanned and sent to the accounts and all that. So that's going on. I would be talking to the accountant on Monday. Tuesday, I have actually planned a hangout with an American woman.
All right.
Carol
Intriguing.
Dodsley. So yeah, she runs a business in USA, and yeah, I have come across her through Google Plus.
Right.
So that's one plus, if you like, if you can see the pun.
Yes.
For Google.
Yes.
Wednesday I would be going to High Wycombe for N. Yeah, and I think I would be meeting Bijon and John again there. There is something happening.
Right.
Hopefully it'll all be positive and good and all that. Would be working really hard to get my website in a way it should be. At the moment it's slightly disconnected. It has lots of stuff but not really connected in a better way. So yeah, that's what I would be doing now. So it's actually your time now to tell us about your road ahead. I'm giving you the blue box.
Oh, thank you. Right, my road ahead is inevitably there's lots of different things going on. The e-books, again, I'm really excited about, and the marketing for that. I need to devise an e-shot, email newsletter to go out to people, and just think of different ways of promoting that, as well as my coaching programs. I've got a meeting with a personal trainer, and we've packaged together what we do to be the mind and body transformation program. So I will work on the mind transformation part and he works on the body transformation part, so because obviously the two go hand in hand. So we've got to look at more marketing materials, doing a PowerPoint presentation to convert into a video and all this kind of stuff, which is always great fun to do, but it takes a lot of time, as you know, to get to do these things. Also the public courses that I'm running, I need to get those up on Eventbrite, and there's a lot to do when you work for yourself, isn't there? And it would be nice to have somebody else to do some of it for you, but sometimes it's easy just to do it yourself. Yes, I've got to take my mum to a hospital appointment in the midst of all that, so you know, life goes on with different things. So yeah, I do feel definitely making progress, and things are moving on, so that's great. So I think we're now on to the next one, which is trick or treat. So I believe you had a question to ask me, Vivek, is that right?
Yeah, it's about dyslexia. You are a specialist in that area, so
yes.
Yeah. Tell me, is it an advantage or is it a problem? How do you see dyslexia?
Well, a simple question, but it have a big answer. It depends so much on the person, and what their personality and their circumstances and their attitude to it. I absolutely believe that dyslexia is a gift, but it can be a disability as well. It can be seen as a disability. So it's like anything. It's how you view it and how you use it. And there's a lot of heartache around dyslexia. I mean, I work with children as well as adults. And you know, some of these children, they go in every day to school and they feel they're failing, and the effect of that might be that they just give up, or they become introverted and they don't do anything, or they become really naughty and then they're labelled as naughty and disruptive. and really what they need is they need an alternative way of learning. With adults, I mean, some of the most successful entrepreneurs are dyslexic. So it's a huge gift, but it's a two-edged sword, if you like. We're using lots of analogies here, but you know, what could be a real plus can also be a real minus. So because people don't understand it and they don't make allowances, so it's a huge area.
Yeah, usually at what age can people recognize?
The schools typically, certainly in Bucks where I live, the schools don't want to address it until a child is at least 7 years old. And then, unless they're 3 years behind in their schooling, they then don't want to tackle it. But that child will already have had 2 to 3 years of schooling, particularly if they go to preschool, you know, could it be more than that, of starting to feel that they're failing around the number of words. They'll get to age 7, and then they're supposedly 3 years behind, and then how are they supposed to catch up? You know, it's a real difficulty. Sometimes it comes out later. I mean, my own son, he was age 10 before we realised he was possibly dyslexic. And then I've spoken to students, and sometimes when people go to uni and they're not coping with their studies, and then they suddenly find that they're dyslexic. So it can happen at any age. I think what happens is that if people are bright and they can think creatively, they can find strategies, they can find ways round. The problem is they will do things differently, they will think differently, but then it reaches a point where those strategies no longer work. So actually a child or an adult won't be working really, really hard to achieve the same as you or I, but maybe not getting the same results, and people then label them as lazy or stupid or whatever, and it's really tough.
Yeah, I read somewhere that it's more to do with spellings, and is it something which affects only the English speakers?
Right, you're giving me two questions there, so I've got to remember them both now if I had to answer them. That's hard if you're dyslexic as an interesting point, because actually it's the verbal process, the auditory processing. It can be an issue that's difficult for people. The Greek, the word dyslexia comes from the Greek, and dys means difficulty with, and lexia means words. So traditionally, it's difficulty with words, and yes, absolutely, people think it's poor spelling, they can't read properly, words jumbled up on the page. Absolutely, that can be. But my son, for example, his reading and his spelling are really good, and that's not how it impacts him. It's always to do with working memory. How people process new information, that just comes with the patch. So it may or may not even be to do with words, but usually it is to do with words in the sense of maybe verbal words, spoken words. So it could be following instructions, following information. So for example, if viewers are watching this and it's completely new to them, it might be gobbledygook to them until they need a bit of a few goes of getting through it, or they might need a visual approach or a kinesthetic approach to actually grasping it. So it's about not getting things first time. Also, people with dyslexia have huge strengths, and there's a discrepancy between the strengths and the weaknesses. My son's profile, for example, he was on the top 97th percentile. No, he was in the top 90th percentile for some kind of intelligence. I'd have to look back at his report to remember. He was in the bottom third percentile in terms of processing, I think, visually, or there was some aspect of how he was processing stuff. So he was right up in the top 10%, intelligence-wise, say, for example, in one form of processing, and he was straight down at the bottom, struggling in another area of processing, and all these different aspects which make up dyslexia cause a problem. So the poor kid, on the one hand, he's bright and he knows he can do stuff, and suddenly there's something that pulls him down, and then people don't get what that is. And that's often where there is this difficulty, there's this discrepancy in ability, is often a bit of a warning sign. But for the uninitiated, it is very hard to sort of pick up. So I need people like me.
Interesting.
That's your question. It's a huge topic. Yeah. Maybe discuss it another time. So.
Yeah. I think it's actually my turn now about, I mean,
Yep.
this blue box. I have taken the blue
You've
box
taken
from
the blue
you.
box away, so you're going to do your thing now. Okay, let's have it for debate then. Go on.
Yeah, the blue box is a concept, or rather, it's very similar to what you do when you have an interview. When you interview somebody, you have a microphone, and you, or maybe consider a TV interview. You hand over the mic to somebody, and then the camera turns to that person. So this is more or less that. Blue box is very similar to handing over the mic to somebody,
Okay.
handing over the camera, the focus onto somebody. But it gets complicated because the host has the control over the camera. In this case, I started the Hangout process, and so I actually have control over what goes into the YouTube channel, because this is a Hangout on air which gets recorded into YouTube automatically, and so this makes it slightly different from a private Hangout. Hangout can be private or Hangout on air, which is public. Hangout on air, when viewers are viewing, they also have a blue box on their computer, but that affects only what they see. It doesn't affect what actually gets recorded on the YouTube. So that's where it gets slightly complicated. But when we record something onto YouTube, handing over blue box is like saying your picture will now be recorded rather than mine. So that's the blue box concept. I wonder whether I have clarified it or made it even more complicated, but that's the way it is.
But the voice is still recorded, isn't it? So though you've got the blue box, viewers...
Yeah, the voice always gets recorded.
Yes.
The only thing that... the other aspect is blue box can also be made automatic. When it is made automatic, whoever speaks will be on camera.
Yes.
So if it is non-automatic, or rather if the host has taken control of the blue box, then whoever the host gives the blue box to, that video gets recorded.
Yes.
And that video gets seen by everybody, whoever is watching the live broadcast. So that's, I hope that clarifies the concept.
Yeah, so can I make a comment here?
Yeah.
It was interesting because in the first few vlogs that we've done, I wasn't sure what was going on, and I was very reticent to make a comment, and I would have liked it to have flown more in terms of conversation. But then every time I grunt or moan or say, you know, something, then you suddenly gets the picture that can be distracting for the viewer. So I was tending to sit and say nothing when I wanted to respond to what you'd said, and I think by having the blue box, it means that the other person can make comments, and the conversation between us can flow more naturally, which I think will then come across as more natural. But then the video bit will be good because it's not distracting in that sense. So anyway, it'd be interesting to know what viewers think, whether they think we're improving at all. I hope we are. But,
I would say it is an improving process. So and I see that as being evolution, something which is changing, something which is... if you take the example of Google itself, you would see that it keeps changing. So that's the concept, and I hope I have answered a few questions today.
Yeah.
I'm actually giving the blue box to you to conclude.
Right. Okay. So do I have the blue box now?
Yes.
I have the blue box. Okay. Well, that's been very interesting. I certainly found it interesting what we've talked about today, and I hope our viewers have found it interesting. And it's really time to sign off and enjoy the weekend, I think. So sign off from me. So my name is Karina Shepherd, as you know, and my company is Dancing Kites Creative Learning, and we're passionate about unlocking your potential through creative and interactive learning.
It's my time to sign off now. It's Vivek Bindur signing off. Remember, integrated, we live. Thank you.